Right, so there's 2 races in 2 days here at Mossa. We had the Abingdon round 4 up at Dalton Barracks yesterday with Lee, Captain Jamie and Matty Fawcett and myself. We got Sebi and Josh here, the Mossa juniors, helping us film Mark Nuttall and Welly.
Well, down at Winchester, Ixley, we've got the 5 race series. We've got the Fareham up next, Basingstoke, Reading. Be happy to stay in top 5, probably end up splitting into a group of 3 and a 3 I reckon, or 3 and a 2.
So yesterday up at Dalton Barracks we gave you 5 ways to try and improve your road racing experience and ultimately your road racing performance, I suppose. And I think we did okay in the grand scheme of things. We probably got 4 out of 5 of them right. It was quite an interesting race because it did split up in the end, it got away. Here's Jamie and I just run through those points.
Top 5 ways that you can improve your performance within a crit. Number 1 is nailing your nutrition. Carbs are our fuel source. They are the single most important thing that we need in order to perform effectively in crits. You've got to not only think about the nutrition in race, but you've got to think about beforehand too. Lunch, dinner the day before, and then breakfast the morning before a race if it's a morning race. Train like you're going to race and practice taking on high amounts of carbs. If it's hot as well, think about electrolytes. Dehydration is something that can get you before you run out of carbs. Just make sure you're getting that fluid in throughout the day periodically. Don't feel like you have to take on 2 litres before a race, but just making sure that you've got that intake spread out throughout the day and during a race. Number 2 in ways to improve your crit performance is study the conditions. It's all about the wind, the direction of the wind and the speed of the wind. And think about the course in relation to the wind forecast as well. If it's a headwind, you want to be tucked nicely in the bunch. If it's a tailwind, you know that the draft is going to be less of a factor. So you can maybe poke your head out, you can be further towards the front, potentially even attacking into a tailwind section. If it's crosswind, think about the direction of which the crosswind is coming from. If the wind is crossing from the right hand side, you want to make sure you're tucked in on the left and vice versa for the other side.
Okay, number 3 is choosing the right wheel, getting to know the bunch. Now this is easier when you do take part in a race series where you get to know people, and that obviously does work against you sometimes because you may get marked. But ultimately, it's a bit of a game of chess, and what you're trying to do is find the most efficient wheel for you to follow so you can save as many watts as possible, saving them for the time where you need to attack, sprint or get away. Now, when you're looking in the bunch, and you don't know who they are and it's an unfamiliar set of riders, it's a case of looking out for the most smooth rider. You'll get a feel for the guy who looks like they might fancy it today, and they start putting in a few soft attacks and just generally looks like a good bike handler. So it's really important in order to give yourself the best chance of putting yourself in position at key moments in the race. Okay, number 4 on our list of things to remember when racing your bike is to understand the team and the race dynamics. So it's a case of identifying which team is working together. And I've been in many a race where I have been soft pedaled from the guy in front and I can't work out what's going on, and you soon twig that up the road is one of their players. And so you've got to be totally aware of all the potential race tactics from the different teams in the bunch, and then that will help you when it comes to deciding which attacks to follow and when to save your watts.
And finally, at number 5 is ride to your strengths. Now, this may seem like a really obvious one, but you'd be amazed the amount of people that turn up to a race and that adrenaline rush just makes them do things that they really shouldn't be doing. If you spent all winter in your garage training on your turbo trainer, you've been doing those Zwift races and you've got an absolute mean sprint, then use that to your advantage. If you've been doing sustained power effort, then use that to your advantage. Think about getting away in a break. Think about working with other people in the bunch and trying to essentially form an alliance to get away. Ride to your strengths and you can't really go too far wrong.
You gon' run me to the ground and you know it. And I'm alright with that, I'm alright with that. Everything you do is for you and you show it. You can't lie about that.
Today is going to be 6 laps
for us vets, a bit mean. Us old boys over 40 can't be doing 6 laps. So with some miles in my legs from yesterday's race, could be interesting to see what I've got in the tank today, but I'll just give it our best shot, eh?
Look at him. Look at him. Nice job, Mark.
Absolutely savage. That was the hardest course I've done in a long time. It didn't suit me. How'd you go?
Mate, I think I got 5th in the end, but yeah, mate, honestly, it's the hill. What percent's that little drag? You're looking at
From the first second I knew I wasn't into that race.
You're not?
No, I didn't have the technique for that slippiness, the off camber.
It was tough, mate. Some tough bits with the woods. You know, that long bit
was like
off camber for quite a while. It slowly pushes
mud, just slippy, gloopy mud. That's not my thing. Wow, but it's good to do courses that don't suit you, because that was a mind game. That was from the first lap, and then every lap. What's that? 6 laps.
6 laps.
A super busy day, super busy weekend for the Mossa, really, with us 3 down at Pitchside Paul getting very muddy and dealing with the admin that is a muddy bike race as well. Dirty van, dirty kit, dirty bike. But we also had Ben and the crew completing their final day in sunny Mallorca on their training camp, and they're going to be coming back firing on all cylinders, no doubt, and I'm sure we've got some clips we can put up. So if this is your thing, if you want to follow the club and everything that happens within GS Mossa, then hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Now for me to get on with this edit.
Cut that ollie, sorry, that was shit.